Okay, welcome to part 2 of the Progress Notes section in Diagnostics. This part is going to focus on how to use other parts of the software in the Prog Notes section. The first Progress Notes video did an overview of this section of the software, and if you haven't watched that yet, I encourage you to watch that before you watch this one. I'll be assuming you know several of the features now. Okay, so first thing I'll point you out to, as we discussed in the last section, if you look here on this drop-down menu, it shows several other parts of diagnostics that you can jump to. So if you select ego functioning and click go, it goes over to the ego functioning section of the assessment part of the program. If you go to an age calculator and press go, it goes to the tools section and the age calculator. It's just a quick jump section. Another cool part about this is that actually shows 9 parts of the program where you can copy and paste information out of those sections and place the information into the progress notes. So I'm going to jump over to one of these sections and show you how to get information out of each of these parts of the program and then bring it into the progress notes. To start, I think what I'm going to do is bring up one of my old sample clients here from Joe Sample. If I load that note into the progress notes, now I have his subjective, objective, assessment, and plan information in there. So if I'm interested in, let's say, I've done a mental status on him, I've done some assessment on him, and there's the subjective report and the plan. Let's say I want to do an ego functioning assessment on Joe, and we want to bring that over into the assessment section of the SOAP note. I would select ego functioning, click go, and it takes me to the ego functioning section. And we'll kind of go through this together and do an ego functioning assessment for Joe. And if you look down here at the bottom, you see the go to progress notes. I can jump back and forth rather quickly just by clicking on these two things. I can also jump to other sections as well. I can go to personality assessment, and again, there's a quick jump there back to ego functioning. So you can kind of see how quickly you can navigate back and forth depending upon what it is you're interested in assessing. So let's say Joe is a good garden variety neurotic type of individual, and we're going to evaluate his thought processes. The way the ego functioning section works, as you've seen in the other training videos, is you basically mark or select what sounds to be most like him from your clinical evaluation. So let's say he's pretty concrete and overgeneralized in his thinking. He's got some fairly significant cognitive distortions, but he's really concrete with his distortions. I'm going to click significant there, and you'll notice it creates information for you. Labels it neurotic and it's functioning, this box. Next we'll do is reality testing. Let's say it's moderate. Defenses are fairly significant. And impulse control, let's say he's pretty over-controlled and he's fine, but he's got all kinds of stuff coming out with headaches and somatic types of symptomology. And so we've pretty much diagnosed him in terms of his ego functioning as being fairly moderately neurotic. A profile is created for him from the work that you just did in the assessment. And it gives you ego functioning assessment on his thought processes, reality testing, defensive characteristics, and impulse control. And it also gives you some treatment considerations that you may or may not want to include in his progress notes. Let's say we want to include all of it. I can copy just this one section in ego functioning assessment by clicking copy, or I can copy all, which actually copies both ego functioning assessment and treatment considerations. Let's say I want to copy all of it. So if I want to copy all of it, I click copy all, and it tells me it include that information. I go to progress notes, and let's say we're going to put that into assessment, and let's put it before the 5-axis diagnosis. So I go there. I can either click Control V, or I can go up here to paste that information, or I can go up here to edit and click paste. I'll just click edit and paste, and it takes all that ego functioning assessment information and it puts it into your assessment part of your SOAP note. Check for formatting here, put a double space between the ego functioning assessment and that. So basically it just includes the information that you just created in ego functioning and it puts it into here for you. Let's do one other one just to make the point. And let's say we're going to do treatment plans instead. Treatment plans is something you've all been very interested in, and that's going to be included in the plans section. And let's assume for Joe we haven't created any treatment plans for him yet, so I'm going to delete those out of there, and we're going to go get some for him. Now, based upon our assessment, we found Joe to have acute stress disorder, and so what we're going to need to do is jump over to treatment plans and find the diagnosis for acute stress disorder. It turns out I've already got it selected, but let's pretend that I don't. And there's lots of ways to find acute stress disorder. Let's use the alphanumeric selector. So the first letter of acute stress disorder, of course, is A, and I go down and I find it and I click on it, and it brings up acute stress disorder for the treatment planning. And let's say we just started seeing Joe, so we're looking at immediate types of interventions and goals. The way you do this is you can include any of this information in the progress note that you want. You can include the goals, or you can just include the interventions. It's up to you. I'm going to put the interventions for short term in. These are the things I'm going to want to be working on with him in the short term. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight these. Go up here to edit, click copy. Jump down here to progress notes. Go into Joe's plan and put the cursor in there, edit, paste. Now all of those treatment plans that I just had in the treatment plan section are in there. And you can go through and read through these. Remember, this is to help you. It's not to do work for you. So look through this information, make sure it makes sense to you and with Joe's case, and add anything that you feel is important and take things out that you think is not functional for treatment for him. And that's pretty much it. When I save the new Joe, let's put the new date in. Let's say it's a new therapy session. Put it in for today, and at the time, therapy time was, say, I met him at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Click save, save it. Now I've got Joe Sample's new session information in this one. So I can view that here. You can see his ego functioning assessment and his treatment planning down here at the bottom, the plan. And that's pretty much it. Any other parts of diagnostics, any of these other 9 sections, you can do the same exact thing with. Age calculator, doing personality assessment, tracking his anxiety, tracking his mood, creating a 5-axis diagnosis, and the like.